There's a moment in life when you realize something powerful. Your reality isn't reacting to your wishes, it's reacting to your wavelength. Beneath everything you see, everything you touch, everything you move through, there's a sacred intelligence responding to you, not to your words, but to the silent signal you broadcast every single day. Your life right now isn't a test. It isn't a punishment. It's a mirror, a crystal clear reflection of the frequency you've been holding, consistently, not occasionally. Your circumstances aren't randomly appearing. They're being shaped through you, formed by the energy you live in, not the intentions you speak. And this is where most people get stuck. They try to rearrange the outside, the job, the partner, the home, the routine. But they never shift the broadcast coming from within. So the scenery changes, but the story stays the same. Because the universe doesn't respond to wanting. It responds to resonance. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions line up with who you're becoming, you're not pretending. You're aligning. You're stepping into the timeline where what you desire already exists. Think of your current life as a delayed echo. The physical residue of past feelings, past beliefs, past patterns. If there's confusion or lack showing up, it didn't appear out of nowhere. It was practiced, even if unconsciously. But that's not a reason for guilt, it's an invitation. A reminder that your power was never lost, just forgotten. You are not here to chase miracles. You are here to embody the vibration that makes them inevitable. You are not here to fix what looks broken. You are here to return to alignment, the place where nothing was ever broken to begin with. And the shift begins the moment you stop waiting and start becoming. This is the shift. When you stop sending, the field a signal of I don't have, I'm not ready, I'm not enough, and start radiating I am. I already am. It's already done. Not because you're delusional, but because you understand. The field doesn't create from logic. It creates from resonance. When Bob Proctor spoke of success, he didn't speak in terms of goals. He spoke in terms of vibration. He knew that too. Change your results, you must first. Change your frequency. You must lift yourself into the energy of the life you wish to live, and you must stay there. Even when your senses still show the old world. This is where faith becomes science. Because staying in the vibration of what's not yet visible, that's not wishful thinking. That's quantum precision. You're collapsing potential into reality. With every breath, every belief, every action that reflects your future self. So who are you being today? Not what are you doing, not what are you saying, who are you being? Because your state of being is the most powerful prayer you will ever offer the universe. And the field is always listening, always responding, always arranging reality in service to your vibration. Not your wishes, not your fears, not your hopes, but your signal. If life feels like it's asking something more of you, maybe it is. Maybe it's waiting for you to become the version of you who's already aligned, already ready, already home. And when you do, when you begin to act, think, feel, and move from the frequency of having, everything changes. Because the field does not resist coherence. It reflects it. Before the law of attraction, there was something more fundamental, more ancient, more precise, and more misunderstood. The law of vibration. Everything vibrates. This is not spiritual poetry. It's quantum physics. From the smallest subatomic particle to your thoughts, emotions, and intentions, everything carries a frequency. And those frequencies don't stay contained. They ripple outward, intersecting with the quantum field, the invisible sea of possibility that holds every version of reality. Bob Proctor was one of the first voices to bring this principle into the realm of personal transformation. He taught that before you can attract anything, you must align vibrationally with it, because the universe is not responding to what you're saying or even what you want. It's responding to what you're being. Your dominant frequency is shaped not by your vision board or your to-do list, but by your state of being. That includes your self-talk, your subconscious beliefs, your emotional baseline, and your sense of identity. You can say, I want abundance every morning. But if you're vibrating scarcity in your gut, the field hears scarcity. Joe Dispenza puts it clearly. You can't create a new reality with the same personality. That's because your personality, your emotional signature, your mental programming broadcast into the quantum field continuously. The field, like a cosmic mirror, doesn't respond to appearances. It reflects. Coherence. So how do you create coherence? It begins with alignment between what you feel and what you intend. Greg Braden speaks of this as the language of the heart, a biological, an energetic state in which intention and elevated emotion merge into a unified signal. That signal has power. It doesn't ask, it commands. Science supports this. The Heart Math Institute has shown that the human heart emits the strongest electromagnetic field of any organ, 60 times stronger than the brain. When your heart and brain are in sync, when emotion and intention harmonize, your body becomes a broadcast tower of resonance, and resonance changes reality. This is why the law of vibration always precedes the law of attraction, because attraction isn't something you do, it's something you become. You don't pull your dream life toward you like a magnet. You tune into the frequency where that life already exists. It's like tuning a radio. The music you want is already playing, but unless your dial is set to the right frequency, you won't hear it. In the same way, your ideal life is not somewhere far away, it's a frequency away, and you reach it not by pushing harder, but by vibrating differently. Bob Proctor used to say, you must become the thing you want. You must vibrate at the level of the life you desire. This means dropping the idea that wanting something is enough. The field doesn't register wanting. It registers being. And being is something. You embody breath by breath, choice by choice, thought by thought. This is where many spiritual seekers get stuck. They become masters of intention, but amateurs of emotion. They can describe the future they want in perfect detail, but emotionally they're still anchored in doubt, frustration, or lack. And the field picks up the dominant signal, not the spoken wish. You cannot fool the quantum field. You cannot pretend your way into manifestation, but you can tune your way into it. You can align. You can calibrate. You can practice feeling like the version of yourself who already lives the life you dream about. And in that practice, the gap between vision and reality begins to close. And it's not magic. It's coherence. It's neurobiology. It's quantum physics. It's the merging of ancient wisdom and modern science. And it's accessible to anyone willing to take responsibility for their vibration. Because here's the truth. The field is always responding. Not sometimes. Not when the moon is right or the energy is perfect. Always. And that means every moment is a choice point. Every emotion is a signal. Every thought is a vibration cast into the infinite sea of potential. So what are you sending out today? Not what do you hope for, but what are you rehearsing internally? What emotion have you normalized? What identity have you agreed to wear? Because the law of vibration doesn't just attract things to you. It filters what's possible. It tunes you to outcomes that match your energetic state. And when you shift your signal even slightly, you shift the outcomes that are even able to find you. The future is not waiting to arrive. It's waiting to be matched. And the moment you begin to live not by default, but by design, not from fear, but from frequency, that's when the field responds in kind. That's when reality begins to organize itself in your favor. Not because you begged for it, but because you became the frequency that commands it. There's a sacred technology available to every human being, but most misunderstand it. It's often dismissed as cliché, diluted into slogans like fake it till you make it. But the truth behind it is far more powerful, ancient, and neurologically precise. To act as if is not to pretend. It is to shift identity, to step out of the frequency of wanting and into the field of being. Not as a performance, but as an energetic commitment. Bob Proctor captured this with elegant simplicity. You have to see with the eyes of the mind before you can touch with the hands. Because the mind, and more specifically, the subconscious mind, doesn't know the difference between what's vividly imagined and what's physically real. This is not metaphor, it's neuroscience. When you imagine yourself already living the life you desire, when you feel it, breathe it, move like it, your brain begins to rewire itself. Neuroplasticity kicks in. New synaptic pathways form. your internal model of reality begins to shift. The old stories dissolve. The new identity takes shape. Not someday, but now. This is how acting as if begins to collapse timelines. Because as your brain builds the architecture of the future you, your body begins to follow. Hormones change, posture changes, decision-making changes, and most importantly, your electromagnetic signature changes. The HeartMath Institute has studied this deeply. They found that when a person holds an elevated emotion like gratitude, love, or joy while visualizing a clear intention, the heart and brain enter coherence. In that state, the heart's frequency becomes more ordered and the body becomes a magnet for aligned experiences. What does that mean for you? It means that every time you walk into your day acting like the version of yourself who's already there, who's already healthy, already abundant, already aligned, you're not faking anything. You're attuning your field. You're collapsing the distance between now and then by embodying it now. But there's a catch. This only works when it's sincere. If you're acting as if from a place of desperation or manipulation trying to trick the universe, it backfires. Because the field isn't fooled by your performance. It responds to your coherence. Coherence means your thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned. It means you think abundant, feel abundant, and move as someone who trusts in abundance. You don't have to be perfect, but you do have to be congruent. This is why so many affirmations fall flat. Saying I am wealthy while vibrating fear of money creates discord. The signal gets scrambled. But when you begin to feel wealthy even before the evidence, when you walk differently, think differently, trust differently, then the field takes notice. This is not magical thinking. It's quantum alignment. It's also behavioral psychology. Studies in cognitive science show that behavior influences belief just as much as belief influences behavior. When you move like the person you aspire to be, you begin to believe it's possible. And belief is the engine of transformation. You're not waiting for permission. You're becoming the version of you who doesn't need it. Bob Proctor taught that vibration is the key to the entire universe. And vibration doesn't come from what you say. It comes from how you show up. Every microaction you take from the energy of your future self is a vote for that reality. Every time you choose trust over fear, expansion over contraction, action over delay, you're shifting your signature. You're tuning your field. Acting as if is not a temporary mask. It's a rehearsal of truth. It's how you prepare the body and mind to hold the frequency of the life you say you want. It's how you close the gap between imagining and living. So ask yourself, how would I breathe if I were already there? How would I speak? What would I no longer tolerate? What would I commit to fully? And then start. Start small. Start now. Because the quantum field isn't waiting for your perfection. It's waiting for your congruence. When you step into that version of yourself, even without proof, you're not just wishing, you're transmitting. And the field, ever intelligent, ever listening, begins to conspire on your behalf. You become a vibrational match for the timeline you once only dreamed about. And that's not fiction. That's quantum mechanics. There is a moment, subtle, quiet, powerful, when something shifts inside you. You stop chasing. You stop grasping. You stop bargaining with the universe. And you start being, not pretending, not wishing, but vibrating from a truth that has already taken root inside you. That is the moment when life begins to flow. This is not passivity. It's potency. A different kind of energy enters your field when you stop trying to get and start realizing you already are. When you vibrate from the frequency of already having, already being, already deserving, the field organizes itself in response. Abraham Hicks calls this alignment. It's when your energy is no longer pushing against what is or reaching toward what might be, but harmonizing with what already exists in the unseen. That's the nature of quantum manifestation. The version of you that has it all is not a fantasy. It's a frequency. And that frequency is not summoned through effort, but through resonance. The shift from force to flow is not an intellectual one. It's vibrational. You feel it in your nervous system. The survival mode softens. The internal urgency fades. You no longer act out of lack, but from overflow. You don't beg reality to change. You become the change, and the field adjusts accordingly. This is the invitation to begin acting, feeling, choosing as someone who already lives in the vibration of your desired life. Not in a way that's performative, but in a way that's grounded in trust. Trust in the intelligence of the field. Trust in your worthiness. Trust in your capacity to receive. Bob Proctor often said, faith is the ability to see the invisible and believe in the incredible. And that is what enables you to receive the impossible. But what is faith really? It's not a hope. It's not a wish. It's a vibrational stance, a posture of certainty, even when the evidence isn't there yet. Faith is what collapses the gap between vibration and manifestation. It's the energy that says, I no longer need proof to embody this version of myself. And the moment you release the need for proof, proof begins to appear. That's not coincidence. That's coherence. Because when you vibrate from having your decisions change, your body, language changes, your tone of voice, your posture, your boundaries, they all begin to match the frequency of abundance. And that signal, clear, stable, resonant, begins to attract opportunities, people, and ideas that reflect it back. This is how flow works. You don't chase alignment. You become aligned, and flow finds you. It's like sailing. You don't push the boat across the water. You catch the wind. You position the sail, trust the current, and let the unseen forces do what they've always done. Move you forward. The effort shifts from force to guidance. Greg Braden speaks of this as the soft technology of consciousness, the ability to direct reality not through control but through coherence. When your thoughts, feelings, and actions send a consistent signal into the quantum field, life becomes responsive. And it's not about perfection. You don't need to hold a high frequency 24/7. What you need is awareness, the ability to notice when you're slipping into fear, and gently line to recognize when you're acting from lack, and remember your power to pause, breathe, and choose again, because every moment is a vibrational vote. So, here's a practice before you make a decision. Pause and ask, am I doing this from the energy of already having, or from the fear of not having? Let your energy lead. Let your vibration speak. Before your words do, let your field be the first messenger of your truth. Because when you vibrate in the having, reality flows in response. The things you used to chase start arriving, unannounced. Doors open that logic can't explain. The timeline shifts subtly at first, and then suddenly. And all of it began not with struggle but with stillness, not with trying but with trusting. This is the power of energetic fluency. When you understand how to hold the frequency of your future, your present starts to transform. And not because the world changes, but because your relationship to it does. You're no longer waiting for permission. You're no longer negotiating with life. You're co-creating with it. You're walking as someone who already knows. It's done. It's here. And I am the one who brings it through. Because when you vibrate in the energy of the end, the field has no choice but to rearrange everything to meet you there. You're not here to wait for life to give you a sign. You are the sign. You are the signal. You are the field in motion. And the way you show up in this very moment is what's writing your next reality. Reality is not waiting for the perfect time. It's responding to the now, to this breath, this belief, this vibration. You don't need to fix everything first. You don't need all the answers, the money, the external support. What you need is presence, conscious, committed, and coherent. Because the quantum field doesn't recognize time the way you do. It doesn't wait for someday. It reads now. It moves now. It shapes itself according to the clarity, consistency, and intensity of who you're being now. And the beautiful thing is presence can be practiced. It starts with awareness, the gentle, grounded awareness that you are not your thoughts, not your doubts, not your past. You are the one who observes, who chooses, who creates. Bob Proctor taught this over and over again. Hold the image of what you want. Lock into it. Stay with it. Do not let it go. The moment you do, the field starts rearranging itself. Let's bring this into practice. Start with visualization, not as a passive daydream, but as a daily ceremony of creation. Close your eyes and see it, the version of you who is already living the life you desire, not in fantasy, but in frequency. Feel what they feel, think what they think, move how they move. Let the image become more real than your doubts. Then breathe it into your system. Use the breath to harmonize your nervous system, your mind, and your field. Inhale as your future self. Exhale as your new frequency. Let your breath become your anchor into the version of you that already exists. Now write. Pick up a pen and write from your future, not to it. From it. Write as if you're already there. Describe your day, your energy, your relationships, your freedom. Let your subconscious mind begin to accept. This is your new normal. This is not make-believe. It's neuroplasticity. You are training your brain to recognize new pathways. You are tuning your heart into coherence. You are broadcasting a new electromagnetic signature, and the field is listening. These are small acts, but they're quantum in nature because they collapse resistance. They align the timeline. They encode your presence with precision. Greg Braden calls this conscious participation in the quantum field, and Joe Dispenza affirms when you think from the end and feel from the end, your brain and body believe it's already happening. That's when your biology changes and your reality soon follows. You don't manifest from effort. You manifest from energetic clarity, and clarity begins with stillness when not perfection. When you make the decision to show up daily as your future self, you are not pretending. You are rehearsing. You are stabilizing that vibration until the outer world has no choice but to mirror it. This is the secret most people miss. The field does not respond to need. It responds to embodiment. And embodiment isn't about being fearless. It's about being faithful to the version of you that already knows how this ends. So here's what you do. Choose one. Practice one ritual, one small daily act that says to the universe, I remember who I am becoming. Do it with reverence. Do it with presence. And don't wait for the world to shift. Let the shift begin with you. Because as Bob Proctor said, it's not about changing the world. It's about changing the image you hold of yourself, and the world changes in response. You are reprogramming the field. Every time you show up in alignment, every time you hold the vision, every time you breathe with intention, your presence is a command, your focus is a frequency, and your being is the bridge between possibility and manifestation. So don't wait for signs. Become the signal, because the field isn't asking for perfection. It's asking for coherence, and coherence begins the moment you decide, I am ready now. There's nothing you need to chase, nothing you need to prove, nothing you need to earn, because the version of you who already has the life you desire already exists. Not someday, not in some far-off future, but right now, vibrating in the quantum field, patiently waiting for you to meet it. Not by trying harder, but by becoming still enough to remember. Everything you want is not out there. It's in here, encoded in your frequency, waiting to be unlocked by the most powerful key in the universe, identity. Because you don't manifest what you want. You manifest what you are, not who you pretend to be, not who you perform to be, but who you are being in the quiet, invisible, vibrational space beneath your words and your actions. And this is the sacred truth. You are already it. The abundance you seek, it's already alive in the version of you who knows they are worthy. Without question, the love you long for, it's already surrounding the you who no longer hides their heart, the purpose you crave. It's already guiding the you who trusts their own knowing more than their fear. You're not climbing a ladder. You're removing the layers that block your light. You're collapsing the illusion of distance between you and your desires. Because the universe doesn't deal in time, it deals in alignment. And alignment isn't something you achieve, and it's something you allow. Bob Proctor used to say, faith and fear. Both demand you believe in something you can't see. You choose. So which one will you vibrate from? There's a frequency that creates effortlessly. It doesn't beg, it doesn't hustle, it doesn't hope. It radiates. It magnetizes. It organizes reality around. It's coherence. That frequency is already inside you. It's not something you add, and it's something you uncover. So stop waiting for a sign. Stop asking if you're ready. Stop questioning your worth. Begin to breathe as the person who already lives that truth. See yourself through the eyes of your future. Hear your thoughts as if they were coming from someone who's already arrived. Move through your day as if the universe were your trusted dance partner, already in sync with your rhythm. Because here's what's real. The field is not testing you. It's mirroring you. It's a quantum echo of who you're being now. So if you want something new to appear, you must become something new. Not by force, but by faith, by choice, by gentle, radical, coherent self-ream. You already are. You already are the one who gets to live the dream. You already are the one who deserves the love, the freedom, the joy. You already are the one who transforms timelines through presence. So stand still, breathe deep, and declare to the field with no words, just energy. I already am. Let this be your prayer, your anchor, your code. Not because saying it will make it happen, but because becoming it is what makes it real. Comment below. I already am. If something in you woke up today, if a part of you remembered, if you're ready to live as if the field is already listening, because it is. And if this message resonated, stay close to this space. This is a community of beings who are no longer chasing. We are becoming. And reality, sweet magnetic quantum. Reality is responding.